what is going on, guys? I just want to give my 2 cents on the whole situation with Chris Brown and him coming on Twitter and basically saying Ebola is population control. Honestly, I have to admit, I agree with what Chris Brown says. Now, disclaimer. I know some people are going to come on here, well, that's conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. You have a right to your opinion. I have a right to my opinion, and I'm going to speak it. And this is my channel, so it is what it is. But what I want to state is basically how throughout history, governments have been known for killing off their own citizens. Okay, this is nothing new. I mean, and it doesn't matter what government, country we're speaking about. People of power have been known to kill off their own people. Now, I'm just going to be honest. Ebola has been around for over 40 years, okay? It was discovered in the 70s. It's 2014. So 40 years later, you have to wonder, why is this disease, this virus, still running rampant? And how come nobody thought, let's find a cure, let's get a vaccination, let's eradicate this virus? Well, let's think about it. It's in Africa. And this country and this world in general has a long history of racism, okay, and treating people of color like shit. So it's in Africa, it's Africans. Most of the people who are dying and getting sick are Africans, you know, they are black, you know, they are people of color. So this really isn't a surprise that the United States of America, the United Nations, other countries in Africa is a continent. Let me say that one more time. Africa is a continent, because a lot of people are still under the impression that Africa is a country when it is not. Africa is a continent full of countries. Okay? Back to what I was saying. You know, it's black people, it's people of color, they're Africans, so they're basically a group, a race, a population that this world has deemed undesirable. So 40 years later, we still don't have a cure or vaccination for Ebola. That's not surprising. It's a population that this country and this world has been known to not care for or like. Population control. You're killing off people. And then another thing in America, okay, the situation here when we've got Ebola coming here. You notice when it was the 2 white people who had Ebola, because they were in Africa doing, I think they were trying to stop Ebola and trying to solve the situation there, but they ended up catching Ebola while they were over there. But here's the thing, when they flew back to America and they received treatment and they were doing just fine a couple of weeks later. Meanwhile, the black guy, the black man, right, who was visiting family in Africa comes back and he gets Ebola. No one cares about him. In fact, when he first went to the hospital and reported feeling sick, they thought, just go home, sleep it off, you'll be okay. Next thing you know, a couple of days later, guess what? He has Ebola. Then they didn't give him the same serum that they gave the 2 white people, and he ends up dying a week after, I think it was a week or a couple of days after catching Ebola. Isn't it strange? The person of color dies, yet the 2 white people are saved. I'm just saying, and America has a history, just like this world, of treating people of color like shit. Let's not forget the Tuskegee Tuskegee experiments, where Americans were giving black men syphilis. They knew they were giving them syphilis. They wanted to see the stages of syphilis, because syphilis has, I believe, 4 stages. So they wanted to see the stages. They wanted to see the entire stage, and then they kept telling these men they were treating them and they were helping them, when really they were infecting them with a deadly sexual transmitted disease. Syphilis. It amazes me how, and this happened in the 40s. So this is nothing new. This country and this world has been known for killing off its own people. Now, let's think logically. Hypothetically, okay, they are using it as population control. It makes perfect sense. We're living in a world where we're probably beyond our carrying capacity, which means we don't have enough resources and land for the people that live here on this earth. And then when we look at places like America, where, you know, it's over 314 million people, we've got high unemployment rates in cities and states all around the country, even though they love to talk about how the national unemployment rate is only 7% or 6%, blah, blah, blah. Yet people are still starving and dying and suffering and can't find jobs. Sometimes you have to look at your own research and not believe everything you see on TV and the media. That's another, you know, that'll be another video for me to do. So population control, we kill off all the undesirables, all the people of color, all the racial minorities, all the ethnic minorities, you know, the poor people, the sick people, the old people. Like I said, we kill off the undesirables, and that's what this country and world has a history of doing. Okay, case in point, the Holocaust with Jews and gypsies and homosexuals. Adolf Hitler's goal was to, you know, completely exterminate Jews from Germany and the world. Anybody that wasn't quote-unquote Aryan race, he wanted them eliminated off of the world, not to exist. Once again, this country, this world has a history of getting rid of people they don't like, okay? Governments have a history of oppressing their own people, killing their own people, all in the name of a bigger cause, right? So what Chris Brown said isn't necessarily false or wrong, because hey, it is kind of strange how, you know, Ebola's been around for 40 years, HIV has been around for over 30 years. It's just a lot of diseases that you would have thought, a lot of diseases and viruses that you would have thought we would have eradicated by now. We would have had vaccinations and treatments, cures for these diseases and viruses. Yet every time you turn around, it's getting worse and worse. And then in America, you know, here's another flip side. You don't know if the media is using this to hype things up when it's really not that serious, or you don't know what's going on, because it's strange. It's like, well, you know, Ebola is very, we can take care of this. We can fix this before it gets out of control. Yet every time you turn around, there's a new case popping up. You got Atlanta, you got Texas, it's everywhere. Then we've got the intravarious, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, virus in Michigan and in these Midwest states. You know, I mean, you don't know who to believe, who to trust, who's telling the truth. And let's just face it, our government has been known to lie. So I wouldn't be, you know, trusting them, okay? And that's Democrat, Republican, Independent. The point is, your government has been known to lie. So that's just my 2 cents on the whole situation. What do you think about Ebola? Do you think it's serious? Do you think we need to do something about it? Do you think it's population control like Chris Brown? What is your opinion on it? Leave comments in the comment box below. Deuces.